You're gonna be standing between these. Do you want water or anything? Not that I know where to grab it from, but okay. You doing good? Is this my good angle? Grab the mayor's and put her next to me, and that's it. Are we ready for sound check?
It's Bell song.
I can't do that.
It's Tina's concept, so.
Sound engineer, brother, we need you here.
You know, it's your show, but I'll be there.
I need help making sure I don't fuck it up.
Yeah, I may just tone things down a little bit.
We can rest. We're saving opera. Thank you. We are saving opera down here.
Uno, uno, uno. Uno.
My team was asking, oh, there's a documentary, what are we gonna say? The thing is, there's nothing more compelling than the truth.
Do you speak Spanish? Matt, do you understand?
1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're great.
Hot flashes. Yeah, I was like, fuck.
I usually don't wear a bra with it, but I thought I would wear a bra for you all. I'm glad I did. Now the fabric's not touching the microphone.
So if we can also turn the TV,
Sounds good.
Sounds good? Okay, perfect.
I was born in Paris, France, from an Italian dad and a Brazilian mama. I got in the opera path because I was born in it. My mama and my dad are both opera singers. My mom passed away now, but my dad was a very famous tenor, opera tenor. And my mom, you know, I was in her tummy when she was on stage. So it started really from inception, and then that was my life. That was all that I knew. I'm the only one child because my parents were traveling all the time. So like a diplomat, you know, kid, I was going everywhere.
I worked at Lowe's. It was a real job in inside lawn and garden. And I was sitting on the outside looking in to an industry that I'd studied for 8 years. And I was wondering if I was ever going to get another chance.
It was never my intention to go into opera. It was sort of more my voice told me that's where I was going. And the part about it in the opera world is that it's very expensive to do it as an artist. When I first moved to Miami, actually, about 8 years ago, I worked as an Instacart delivery driver with 3 degrees. You know, they say today there's 1,000 students graduating every year with some sort of performance singing degree. So that 1,000 new people going out into the market, and then the people that were already there before, you know, it just starts to add up.
You know, success for an opera singer could mean that you're singing until the age of maybe 50 or 60.
There are a lot of people who have left the industry for different reasons. Companies have folded. I think that there are less opportunities for a lot of people, and so in certain ways we're all competing for fewer jobs.
It's very difficult to not call it anything other than a dying art form.
As of today, talking to you, we're 82 years old. It's enormous. It's like one of the oldest institutions in the United States when it comes to opera. We're not the only one in the world. I was reading some stuff about Munich not being able to pay for 2 months. There are company dyings in the US. Syracuse is in super bad shape. New York City was defunct a few years ago. Big, big, big. So are we dying? We could die because it has happened to other people. So we should certainly not have the arrogance that it could not touch us.
Without it, it further exacerbates the problem to a point where we'll start losing the greater art form. We've had Pavarotti has sung here, and Martina Arroyo has sung here, and Placido Domingo has sung here. I mean, this is history.
For us, it's a very important home, especially because he passed away in this house. So I think the spirit and the energy of Luciano, for people that believe in that, and I'm one of those, is still with us. So it's something special for us here. I was one of those that consider opera boring, so it was a big mix between the two of us, because I have no idea, I was very young. And I was not, I didn't grow up with the love for opera. At that time, he was afraid that the opera could die, you know, at a certain point. He was afraid that theater could become empty. He wanted people to really enjoy opera, because he was always convinced that you don't like opera, most probably because you don't know opera. Then there are people that know opera, that they don't like it, like many things in life, but most of the people have no idea, so they just have a prejudice. Oh, it's boring, or it's something not for me. But then when you hear it for once or twice, then you say, there is something I should discover better. Some musicologists found out that the Luciano was hitting some hertz that no one ever reached before. So, and they suppose that this frequency that he was hitting are the one that create an emotion. Because the point of Luciano was moving you. And even now, I don't know if you see on YouTube, there are many movies about that, about the fact that they make young people never heard about Luciano, listen to Luciano, and they start crying. They feel, and that was the power of Luciano, the possibility to create an emotion on the audience. of Luciano was to spread the love for opera all over, and he used different ways, you know. He was the first one to bring opera outside from the theater, so singing in the park, starting with the arena. When the three tenors perform together, they say, you know, it's just a thing done for money, this is the massification of opera. No, after that, they become the top chart in most of the countries in the world with arias. So that's incredible. Opera was back.
All cameras rolling.
Okay, Sam. Okay, so Limi, if you can just start by saying where were you born and kind of about your uprising. I kind of want to get to know what kind of a family environment you tell us about your parents and where you grew up.
About 6 of them have degrees. Some have master's degrees and all. That's what we wanted for them, because we came up the hard way through cotton field, chopping cotton and picking cotton and working in people's houses and stuff like that, cleaning other folks' houses. And we didn't want that in our children. We wanted them to be better and do better than what we did. And that's what they did. And it has paid off.
The sacrifices weren't all parental. There was a lot of sibling support too. We were all, assisting with, getting him the resources he needed to go different places and, audition for things. We were all involved in that. Foul shots. We gotta do it all.
It wasn't until middle school when my choir director teacher had heard me doing impersonations of other singers that she realized that there's something more in there that we haven't quite tapped into yet. She handed me a cassette tape of Luciano Pavarotti and said, I want you to go home and listen to this. And that was my first experience.
He was singing higher than he would usually sing, and I thought, wow, I believe he's got some high notes there now that he hadn't been using, so.
It's all in the head movement and the hand clapping. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Isn't she precious? No, I'm not warmed up, so I can't really. Right here. And then going into
good spot.
It's the good spot. It is a tough spot.
I didn't really think this child has a future in opera, but I just wanted to expose him to that. And he loved it.
When I learned that that Pavarotti and others were able to sing and project their voices into large theaters without the use of microphones or any type of amplification devices, and to sing over an orchestra, that really intrigued me because I didn't know that was humanly possible. So my siblings and parents were quite helpful and helping me do auditions. And
I'm pretty sure I said, well, maybe you should try something else. Because this doesn't seem to be bringing anything in, and there's a lot going out. So, there were times where
that's the banker in him.
Yeah, but there were times we were like, okay, hopefully this pays off soon because the well is running dry.
It was mainly going out and singing, a few auditions and really just trying to get your name and face out there to the gatekeepers. When you're only able to do 3 or 4 auditions, people are telling you, oh, we love your voice, but maybe you need to lose a few pounds to do this first. And, that can be very disheartening. After maybe 2 or 3 years of doing this, I made the difficult decision to walk away from this career, and I stopped singing. I initially thought I would take a 6-month break, and that 6-month break turned into 12 years.
You have your musical department, which for us consists of principal conductor, who's doing the shows and preparing the cast, an associate or an assistant conductor. Then we can look at the cast, which of course includes principal singers, choristers, supers or non-speaking actors. So about 100 people in that category. There's a lot of people involved with any kind of production. Creative department, which is usually going to be your director and your designers for scenic, wigs and makeup, lighting, and costumes. But a director might also employ the services of a choreographer. And then finally, we have our production crew, who I think has, some of the most important work on all of our shows, because it's the unseen element, but it's the kind of fundamental, baseline of what we have to have. And so, when you look at all the people that are kind of coming in and trying to make even miniature decisions, we're talking about 200 different inputs.
After 25 years, as much as I enjoy doing what I do, the position the company finds itself in just absolutely infuriates me.
At the beginning, we were 5 people working together, and now I'm myself.
Our computers are 17 years old. We are already at the end of the road.
I've been part of this institution before it was Florida Grand Opera. It was the Greater Miami Opera, and it's almost 30 years. It's sad.
Budgets are really hard, and it's always been hard. I mean, ever since I've started, opera, it's a hard sell, really.
There's no advertising. There's no real out there in the community that I'm aware of.
You have all of these wealthy capitalists sitting at the top of the board. Yeah, I'm going to go there. You have all of these wealthy capitalists sitting on this board expecting the employees here to behave like good little communists and work for the good of the cause. And there are probably a lot of people that aren't going to like hearing that. And I may have just done myself out of a job by saying that, but so be it. I'm not that far from retirement. I'll go drive a bus. That's what's infuriating. Quite frankly, there's enough money sitting on our current board of directors that there is no reason for this company to be sitting in the financial position it's in. They just simply need to open their checkbooks and write the checks for the kind of opera that they want to see, instead of demanding $5 worth of opera for $1.
All right, we have a quorum. We have a pretty full agenda today. And also, as you probably have noticed, we have, there's a mic guy there is a camera there, and a camera over there, and they're gonna, so this is the documentary that's being done about us. We do want to present a case that this is an organization that had some difficulties, to say the least, and is now in the process of coming through those difficulties. And if we do come through these difficulties, which hasn't totally happened yet, then this will be a good start. Typically, if you say we have a budget of 100, let's say we have 10 million as a budget. It doesn't matter what the number is, but it's the 10 million. 2.5 million of that, if we have a good season, that is our ticket revenue, or 25%. Another 25% comes from governments of the state. We also have some foundations that are pretty regular in terms of what they're giving. So that's another 25%. So now we have paid for half of what it costs to do this. The other half, you and I have to fund.
In Europe, you are sponsored by the state. And a lot of countries in Europe are not privately funded or foundation funded.
I think Europeans are more willing to, or used to maybe, or paying higher tax levels. And they're sort of expecting that the tax money that I pay, takes care of the art that I need for my well-being. You ask the same question down the street here, you have a very different answer, I think. If you look at the entire seasons, we have about a $1.2 million deficit, meaning we need $1.2 million to finish the season. The trick to this is, though, that we need a bunch of that money kind of now. And through the graciousness and the generosity of one of our board members, TaJa in this case, and her family, she has been supporting us this week. And that's how it is. It's down to every week, as Susie and I know. And there's going to be more. So
I think we're past political correctness, right? Like when you're on the verge of death. And I call this, what we're doing, walking out of the grave, because we were in the grave. The management of the opera really felt like the board was a bank, and every time there was a problem, they came to the board and said, well, we just need more money, and you need to write a check. Listen, the board is not a bank. I am not a bank, and we need to look at how we're going to be a self-sustaining organization outside of the board continuing to write checks. And we have a board that has financially supported this organization to the tunes of hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars for a really, really long time. But at some point, people get donor fatigue. I think people are really great about giving their opinion, especially when their opinion is negative. People are really good at that. But all of these people that are giving their opinion are collecting a paycheck every 2 weeks. Or they're getting paid, the unions are getting paid, everybody's getting paid. But who's writing the check for that? And when nobody's willing to write the check for that, and nobody wants to come to the opera, what happens to those people? Everybody wants to talk about, they need more of this, and they need these benefits, and they need this, and that's great. But the organization has to survive and exist to be able to give those things to those people.
To be brutally honest, yes, it was on my mind. How are we going to get this thing fixed? Because we didn't really, or I didn't see exactly how we would do that at times. And I had to keep the faith. I told you, you would talk to staff, said, we're doing this, and keep rehearsing. And we got the staff coming in next week and we need $150,000. Okay, fine, we'll figure that out. So just get the staff here and we'll figure out where the 150 is going to come from. I really believe that it is time for the next generation to step in. Now, it's time to move on. So I am very happy to announce that TaJa will be taking over. And I convinced her, I think, at the Bloomingdale's party, and I was counting the glasses of champagne she was drinking. And after the fifth, I think, I said, okay, it's time to move in.
Very true story.
So I said, TaJa, I have something for you. And she graciously agreed to be the chair-elect. And the way I would like to do it, if Tina is agreeable to this, is I will announce it at the opening of PAC.
So I was born and raised in Miami, Florida, to a really humble family. I had kind of a picturesque upbringing in the sense of I grew up with a family that was incredibly close. I grew up in a really middle-class home in a beautiful middle-class neighborhood, but we didn't have a lot of money. And at times, my mother walking around in socks because she couldn't afford shoes, and not having the things that other kids in my school had. The cool kids, if you would put it like that, had. I didn't have those things growing up. I remember specifically having a moment when I was 11 years old that my parents were fighting about money and my mom was crying, and I remember it affected me so much that I went into my closet and I was crying in my closet, and I thought to myself, I will never be in this position again, and I will never have my children in this position. And so I cleaned houses and mowed lawns and babysat other people's children and babysat animals. I worked as a cashier in a grocery food chain. I worked in a sporting goods store. I wanted to have a different life than how I grew up. It sounds incredibly cliche, but I like to be really honest about what brought me to opera. And it was Pretty Woman, and there was that scene in Pretty Woman where she's sitting there in her box and they light her up and she's in this beautiful red dress, and you see the smile on Julia Roberts' face, and you hear the woman singing in the background. And that scene for me was so impactful that I thought to myself, I have to see what opera is about. And so in my early 20s, I started buying season tickets to the opera for myself. And I, at that time, would go with anybody who would go with me. And for the most part, it was my friends' moms or parents, because a lot of 21-year-old, or 20-year-old kids have no desire to go to the opera. But I fell in love with it. I enjoyed it. And there was something about the acoustics of the voice and the sound that voice carries that just gave me goosebumps every time I heard that. I started working as an assistant to the president of a university here in Miami. I'm very passionate about the university and what it provides. From that, I met someone who had a startup in the healthcare industry. When you start in a startup, you're kind of thrown to the wolves that you don't get to experience with a really established company. Start a management company in the sports entertainment industry, managing UFC fighters. There was a lot of really talented sports figures that didn't have a lot of great representation in the industry of people that understood business, that understood contract management. I really wanted to get back into more traditional business. When I met Carlos, he asked me to come in and help him do some restructuring of how they were handling project management within his company. And then we do emergency management, so response to natural disasters, so hurricanes, wildfires, floods, winter storms, and have transitioned that to just other government-related healthcare needs, and that's what we do now.
Driving with a French woman in Miami, it's an experience. Okay, because I drive like I drive in Paris. Hey. Hey. How are you, gorgeous? And I'm being filmed right now, just that you know.
Okay, so who told you that I was bringing?
All right.
I'm gonna use some pointers.
Good evening, my fellow opera lovers. It is so spectacular to see such an incredible and large audience here on opening night.
We are preparing for the hospitality. There are artists from the circus that will come because we're trying to create experiences from the moment people step into the theater until they leave.
Thank you, Per and Maria. I am honored and humbled to be entrusted with this opportunity as we look toward the future and redefine how the audience experiences this incredible art form.
My car is full of gowns, gown 1 and 2, in case one doesn't fit, because I won't be able to come back home. And I lost my GPS, so I don't know where I'm going. Yay, you coming with me to Mexico?
Music is something that transcends classes and generations, bringing people together and bridging the divide between us.
I love Miami. Yes, I found my people. I love that there's a lot of passion, emotion.
I'm a little nervous. I'm not usually nervous, but I'm a little nervous. Hi, how are you? Buenas noches.
I think I missed my exit. Mamma mia! Every day I do this. Every day.
Use the right lane to keep right onto Northwest 8th Street toward
I should have been there. That's where the arch is. I can see it from here, and I'm going in the wrong direction. Every day. So that's the only thing, is like, I love Miami, but I have a lot to learn about Miami, and that would start with the streets and the exits. Yeah, I totally screwed up.
At the light, turn left onto Northwest 8th Street toward I-95 North. Then turn left onto Northwest 3rd Avenue.
So there was a deal done for 8 parcels of land that is owned by the school board in Miami-Dade County. I was thinking that that could then be a new home for FGO. It's right next to where the Arch and the concert hall are.
Hi.
How are you? Good. Thank you. Just look at this dress.
Oh my God, look at this dress.
Beautiful. How
dear.
are you, darling?
Good. How are you doing?
How are you?
You're gorgeous.
Likewise, thank you. How are you? Good. So nice to see you. You look beautiful. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? I feel like it's been forever
Nice
since
to
I've
see
seen
you. I know.
We also, and then as soon as your 2 main guests are here, the senator and.
Okay.
You gauge it.
Maria Todoro. She is a ball of energy and knows his art form very, very well. And I think the two of them are very formidable in how they approach things. So I'm very optimistic about where the opera is going to be going, and I am very happy and grateful that I could hand over the gavel to Tina.
Sorry, I was like touching your ass by accident.
That's all right.
Strategically strategically placed hand.
And we just need to, this guy, you know this guy?
No. How
the
are
princess,
you?
the queen
How's
tonight.
everything?
Good.
Hi, I'm Tina.
I'm Sherilyn. You're very nice to meet you as well.
Hi, how are you? Nice to meet
He's
you.
the manager at Valentino in the design district.
It's amazing.
Gorgeous. What a difference a little uplighting makes.
I know, it's the lighting that makes all the difference in
Gorgeous.
the world, right?
I'm always so excited to see what you're gonna wear. This is
Thank you so much. Big baller over here.
Black on
You've
black.
been winning all day.
Oh,
How are you?
yes.
Hi, I'm Tina.
Hi, Tina, the famous Tina. I've heard so much about
Nice to meet you. Your dress to meet you. Sorry, too. You ready?
Yoshiko.
Okay.
Can I tell the two of you how pleased I am about this? I can't cry because I have put too much makeup on. But I'm very... Lily?
Oh, sorry.
Have a great show, my friend.
Break a leg.
I love you. God bless you.
But someone said that if you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman. So that's kind of what I did. And so proud to introduce your next president of the board, Tina Vidal. So,
To TaJa.
The literal gavel. Hello, my fellow opera lovers! Thank you so much for being here tonight. I don't know about you, but I am so excited to see this opera. It happens to be my favorite, and the media has been raving and giving incredible accolades to this cast and this performance, so I just can't wait to see it. I thank you, Pear and Maria, for entrusting me with this.
How do I say goodbye to what we had? The good times that made us laugh outweigh the bad.
This guy here's solid, man. Solid.
What are you doing here?
I didn't know I was going to be filmed.
He
tricks me all the time. He is such a prankster.
Yesterday,
Still got it.
Canada had a really strong drama program. We used to joke that we would be better and accepted if we would figure out how to incorporate a ball. If we could call it drama ball, then there would be more people behind it. I'm not begrudging. I'm not speaking poorly of football. I love football. I wouldn't have coached it if I didn't. I just, as a struggling drama teacher who's always trying to come up with more money, I just wish that our community would embrace it more. Our worldwide community would embrace more.
You know, after walking away, I was able to take some time to kind of reassess, you know, my life goals and where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do with life. I began to really pursue an interest I had in working and providing security services. I began working for, which was then called Clear Channel Entertainment, which is now Live Nation, as a security supervisor for their venue in St. Louis, Missouri. You know, it was one of those things where, you know, yes, I was still involved with some musicians and around music, but I was just behind the scenes now. I think I went through a period of denial and the fact that I missed it. You know, because it was one of those things to where whenever someone brought it up, Lemmy used to be an opera singer, and I didn't, no, we don't talk about that. So I was eventually hired as a field organizer for Barack Obama's first presidential campaign. And I had someone who was supposed to sing the national anthem, and they got cold feet at the last minute and didn't show up. And so my boss, as we're standing there kind of brainstorming about, okay, what are we gonna do? He says, I remember reading on your resume that you used to be an opera singer. Why don't you sing it? And I just kind of laughed it off and said, you know, I haven't sung for several years now. There's really, you know, I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it. And he basically said, well, somebody has to do it.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming?
And so I broke down and sang it, not really knowing what was going to come out when I opened my mouth. But what came out when I started singing kind of clicked on this light bulb in my head.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you. Thank you.
down, sit down. You can sit on the couch or come on.
I think if you can have a seat here would be great.
We had a lot of singers in our bunch. Now his daddy was a guitarist. My husband played the guitar, and they grew up in the church. That's just all, you know. And I don't know where he learned to speak French and what he's singing.
Italian.
I tell you. I know what he's saying while he's singing, but I couldn't pronounce it. It's wonderful, I tell you.
And he's not getting any younger, so but he's still holding on.
Well, did you lose it?
If you don't use it, you do.
Oh, really?
People often ask me how old I am, and I'll tell them, say, hey, I'm 48 years old, but I'm 36 vocally, because I subtract those 12 years off of my actual age because I wasn't using the voice very much then. So it's kind of this, you go through these growth periods as the career starts to advance. And so that I just slowly started to work and just try to continue to build upon what had come before and trying to keep that momentum, that forward momentum going. Had some great things on my schedule, and then the pandemic hit. And basically 2 years of work just kind of disappeared. All of that momentum we had built up and started moving forward was gone. I received the call to make my Metropolitan debut on December 17th, 2021. And I was there covering the role of Radames in Aida. And I became the first African-American male to sing the role of Radames at the Met in their history. The first African-American male to sing the role of this African character on their stage. I lost my father. My father passed away on Mother's Day. And while I'm there during the rehearsal process, my eldest sister passed away. So when I got the call on December 17th that I was going to have to go on, every young singer, I'm sure had dreams of the day they received the call to make their Metropolitan Opera debut. It's a call I'll never forget, and one that I expected when it came that I would be filled with nerves and butterflies and but it was just the opposite that day. When that call came, I was overcome by this this deep sense of calm. And I could feel my dad's presence. I could feel my sister's presence there with me. Luciano Pavarotti, who was my introduction to this art form, had made the same walk to the stage. So, once the evening was over and, it was time to come out for my bows, I had been holding in all these emotions all night long. And it was sort of a constant battle to kind of keep my emotions harnessed. That, when I walked from behind that iconic curtain and heard that first cheer from the audience, it was an ovation that I didn't expect. I looked down and saw all of the orchestra members were all standing up and facing the stage and clapping as well. And at that point is when my own emotions just began to kind of overflow. it was in that moment that I knew that my dad was there with me, my sister was there with me, all of my former voice teachers were there with me. The presence of so many people who had poured into my life over the years were all there with me that night.
You're like this, I'm your general.
You're ready for war.
Yeah, I am.
This was packed and full when...
Listen, this is not as bad as when I walked into a hospital that I was taking over and there was vomit stains on the floor.
He's the maker of magic and anything that's going to be... She's the new girl.
Providing those laptops.
Yes, I was, yeah. You're welcome. She just asked me for more, but unfortunately I gave you all the last ones that I had that weren't deployed. So.
That's fine.
Todd King, who has been a production director.
Hey, Tina.
Hey, how are you? I've heard a lot about you.
Well, hopefully it's not all bad.
No, it's
I don't know what those things are.
Hi,
but
I'm Tina.
Hi, I'm Jonathan.
Jonathan, nice to
I'm
meet
delighted
you.
He's done a whole estimate of what it would be to completely change our lighting equipment because we have an old-fashioned lighting equipment.
I just want to give you a hug.
How you doing?
And my husband sang with all those people. Can you imagine
Wow. I love your husband, by the way.
He loves you so much too.
He, how supportive he is of you, I just adore.
This is Meek. Sorry, I say Mike, and I.
Meek.
That was my.
Tina. Sorry, your
Oh, you've never met each other. That's right. I'm so sorry. This is Tina Vidal is our chair. She's our chairwoman. How many years have you been in the company?
25.
Yeah, that's
Going on
good.
26.
So you've seen everything.
He knows where the body
I
are.
can tell you where the bodies are buried.
So feel free to speak up if you think we're screwing up royally, because you saw it happen before.
Just speaking frankly, might get myself in trouble for saying this, but they didn't tell her the truth about the financial situation. And that was the board at that point in time. So I could just look at them and say, are you high?
Yeah.
Because we've done this before and it didn't work. So
I'd like to take you to dinner and just pick your brain. Would you be open to that?
Sure.
Okay. Laura, hi,
our
how
new
are
chairwoman.
you? Nice to meet
A
you.
really wonderful liaison between me and the crew, and
Well, you'll have to explain all that to me too, because I've never dealt with unions before. I used to have mob bosses follow me all around New York for months and months at a
So
time.
you didn't have Teamsters, that's odd.
No, well, no, they sat in my parking lot every day, and I would go downstairs and politely ask them to go across the street. I was once told that the only reason I wasn't killed because I was a woman.
I'm gonna show my thing, and
Yeah. We're troublemakers, so I can't promise that we're not gonna try.
Sorry, she said it. This, I would say, in the future plan, is probably the most important space. Go ahead. You have an idea, I can say.
Yeah. If we built it right, it could be the space we hold our galas too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that would be magical because we invite people at home. Then come to me.
And then you can give tours of the inner workings
The whole
of the backstage.
thing. Absolutely.
You
And then you
can
have your
sell
costume.
that. No, you're fine, you're fine. Go about your day.
Just you do thing. It's like
I will go about my day. I will go for
natural, guys. Very natural. Natural.
It had been inferred to me that next season was going to be more of the same of this season.
Mhm.
And so, like, we both know that can't happen.
No. And it is. I mean, the truth is that it's the same, template. The template is the same. It's the same.
What are the biggest problems of the last 5 to 7 years? It wasn't that we produced crap.
No. It's no one knows the quality that we have.
No one knows what we're doing.
No, we're taking over. We're reclaiming our marketing.
We don't have a lot of time, I'll tell you that, from a money perspective.
I know.
Right? I think we bought ourselves a little runway.
Thanks to you.
And you're talking to all the right people, and you got to keep your foot on the gas pedal.
I think there are concerns that are industry wide and with the low ticket sales in many places, without really having access to, whatever the financials of any given company. It's kind of difficult to say how concerned one should be.
Now, opera is something distant from reality and from contemporary of life. Also in Italy, between 19th century, could understand the beauty of la da na na da da na na da na da 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 di da di. Why? Today we listen only boo 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 boo. What the fuck is happened in the middle? Why? I'm curious. That's why I want to understand too.
The vibration hits you in a way that calms you, that gives you, or stimulates you. It depends what we're doing, If I project, like if I put my sound forward, then my voice, without making an effort, is heard everywhere. And the more you're making pointy, the further it goes. But of course, it's not pretty. Now, if I wanted to be very sexy and have that voice that is in the back of my throat, it's like all of a sudden you can hear it because the voice is in the back of my throat. But how sexy is that, right? So we calculate, we gauge, and I'm demonstrating to tell you that there is a thing that we can control with the human voice that provokes emotion, that does certain things. And when you do a certain specific harmony, this is all scientifically, books have been written by science, science demonstrate this. And now the more we go into neurology and neuroscience, the more it is confirmed and it heals you like medicine. It's like those little beats, this vibration goes and do stuff to your heart, to your organs, to your physically, to your brain, to your neurons, to your nervous system. And then you go one way, you exit another way.
There's all sorts of subliminal opera culture. It is buried in, some of these things that we can just think of, like the aria from The Barber of Seville. There's probably millions and millions of people that have never seen The Barber of Seville. But if I sing Figaro, 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 oh, it's that thing from that movie, or I saw Bugs Bunny do that. It's subliminal, okay? So there is something that's stitched in a lot of people across the country. And we just have to find those little, veins of where opera still is and mine it out.
Bravo Figaro, bravo, bravissimo, bravo Figaro, bravo, bravissimo, fortunatissimo, fortunatissimo, fortunatissimo per verità. Sempre d'intorno in giro sta, miglior cuccagno per un barbiere, fica più nobile non si dà.
This is unreal. No, it's very real. This is what luxury looks like. This is what it feels like. And this is what it sounds like.
Nessun tuo
Opera is a clear connection with our past. Direct connection. We have the opportunity to go to the theater and listen the same music with the same themes, with the same vibration of our grandfather. So we think that we are not more capable to do the same error of the past. But that's not true. We fall in the same error today. We fall in the same word today. That's why we must remember what is love and what is life and what is light of life and bring this beauty to ourselves today. That's why we need that connection to our road.
Aida, wow, beautiful name. Ah, brava, beautiful Italian. Ciao, grazie. Too many memories, good and bad, so it's not easy. And it's like going always back in the past, you know. So when I'm here, I'm really detaching from the present and the future. Then I don't want to become too much nostalgic because I know that Luciano would have hated that, you know. Luciano couldn't understand people living in the past. I do it quite frequently. I force myself to not do it, but it was such an incredible meaning for my life, you know, that is difficult. And here we have a selection of a picture of Luciano with other stars, and the idea to putting together this selection was to give the vision of how Luciano was with no border of any kind. Many stories, you know. And Bono was right. He said, you know, once he said Luciano is the real punk. He's the only one that doesn't go, you know, following the desire of someone else, except he's just doing what he feels, and that means being punk, he said. So interesting. And said, Luciano, what means punk? Well, the idea of Pavarotti and Friends was started from the love of Luciano to spread the love for opera, as I said before, even to the young generation. So his idea was if I'm singing with a pop star that is loved by the young generation, maybe 1 out of 100 will go to listen to opera. And even if it goes just one, I always win.
Buy from every good woman, every man. This is a man's world.
And it was quite attacked by the purists of opera. You know, they didn't like this idea to put together opera and pop. But Luciano was very convincing that, you know, said, I'm not doing nothing strange or something that will damage opera. I'm trying to do it to spread the love for opera, so I don't see anything bad in it, you know. Opera was always in theater, so suddenly was in another space, so there was something weird. And when you see something that is weird, you can say, I don't like it. Luciano was very important. He said, you know, you don't need to criticize and do nothing. This doesn't matter. You need to act. Instead of being there saying, I don't like it, and I said, do it, do it. I think for the young people now it's very difficult to respect what was for us, you know, for my generation, even the one before, because of the global situation. I think it's tougher now than before. but in a way make them even smarter than us, because they have to find many ways to react to this difficult situation. So I think like for every generation they will find their own way. And regarding the new operas, is difficult. I mean, if you write a new opera with the music of the past, it's not a new opera. So you have to use the music that is now contemporary. But if you use the music that now is contemporary, maybe become a musical. There is not a new opera that had a huge success, because the people that normally goes to opera, they don't want to hear it, because I say, The new generation don't go anyway, because they say, what is that, you know? So I think maybe we should find a way to link these two words, you know, to convince that this form of art is a form of art that is valuable, that is not so boring, that is something that you can enjoy. 10 years ago, 20 years ago, most of the people, I don't know the rest of the world, but here, yes, would like rap music. If you talk to my generation, said, yeah, something coming from America, something, yeah. But now everyone talks about the rapper. Why? What made them change the taste? Something happened. So how much is marketing, how much is platform, how much is the new generation that is a new way for them of expressing the feelings? Could be. But I go back to what creates you really something, is the emotion. If you're able to create an emotion and have them, the new generation, understand the power of emotion. This is instead the theater in Modena, and we were able to find this picture where you can see the shadow of Luciano on the audience, and it's really incredible. And I always teasing my daughter, because I said, if you look at the people, they are all watching Luciano. They are enjoying the moment, not filming, not watching the phone. So can you stop that? But it's true. It was a completely other world where we were focusing on what was happening. That is a big change, if you think. Now, if you take a picture now of a star and of the audience, you will never see so many people looking at him. Never.
Not that we're starting from scratch, but we're almost starting from scratch in the sense that, you know, we have this brand new vision of what we want the opera to be, and we now have to execute on that vision.
You know, when we met the first time, I thought I saw the potential. I thought. And now I'm seeing it. And it's even bigger than I thought.
You know, in the opera world, there's this huge hesitation about sometimes trying new things. As with everything else, if you don't pivot and change and move with the times, you die.
I don't know if I would want to be in Maria's shoes right now, and I have so much respect for her, because I'm not gonna lie, you have to be a little cuckoo to take on this this job.
We've been working a certain amount of time on a daily basis at insane hours. We trembled together, we cried together, we laughed together. For some of us, we peed together, you know, so I'm not telling who.
Tina, this woman's on fire.
Creating this much more immersive experience, and I think opera needs to be that. It's something that we're going to showcase at our gala on March 16th.
FGO, with their new administration, I don't think I've ever been a part of a production that's done this much outreach. I'm so excited to see what Maria and her staff are going to accomplish here.
Right now, there's like 5 events happening. As I'm talking to you, there's 5 things happening. I'm in an interview. Can I call you later? I know, I just responded. I responded. Ciao. And I sound like a bitch. It's like, fuck off. Language, Maria, language.
We're looking at making the audience part of the opera, so it's not just something you see and experience on stage.
Once you discern strategically who you have to meet, targeting the Consulate of Italy was targeting the entire community of Italians here, which also means the Chamber of Commerce of Italy, which is 800 businesses here.
There's all of this research about how music heals and therapy through music in a day and age where everyone's in front of an iPad or iPhone and they don't even know how to talk to each other anymore.
The strategy has shifted, and I think it can be done in a way that no one has ever done it.
Just hired a publicist this week, and so we're gonna really start looking at how we're marketing and advertising the opera so that as we're, telling everyone what the opera is going to be next season, and we're getting everyone excited about it, that we actually deliver on that promise.
Reggae singers, we always look for opportunities, ways in which we can merge energies, merge genre.
I'm saying, why not, rather than trying to reinvent the wheel, use the ingredients that already exist. The opera is there, the symphonies are there, reggae is there. Let's cross-pollinate.
Something that's new and something that's grand. And this is epic.
I beg you don't worry, every little thing gonna be all right. I beg you don't worry.
Everyone who loves opera has spent a lot of time loving opera. And everybody has an opinion. If there's a real tragedy in that opera continues to fade, I think it will be because we decided that there is one way to do things.
Even just about this documentary is that it really actually has made people a little bit more open and make them consider some new ways of doing things, because there have been hardline rules that I thought, oh no, we're going in the face of this rule, that it's no longer quite as serious.
Oh, here he is. I with no further ado.
I didn't know what opera was until I was maybe 14 or 15 years old. So you have to be willing to meet the public where they are. We want them to be willing to step out of their comfort zone to come to the opera. We have to be willing to step out of our comfort zone to meet them in a way that's going to eventually lead to them coming to the theater.
They've never seen or experienced something quite like this. And that was really this moment of, like, as corny as it sounds, you really saw like the power of the language of music and how universal it is and how it can create a moment that just stops time.
That's why we do this, is for that connection. Sorry, that kind of shit gets me really emotional. Give me a second. They're not sitting there because it's good for their social standing. They're there because they're just like soaking up this music, and it's things that they have just never seen before. You don't see this on TV.
And this is what we want this place to embody, and to show that this is powerful and this can make a difference in someone's life.
When I was growing up, I didn't have that. Thinking back to when I was just a kid in southeastern Missouri, I would never have imagined that I would, stand on some of the great stages of the world, singing with some of the greatest orchestras of the world. None of this would be happening without opera for me. We didn't have someone come to my school or or offer us the ability to come to an opera and to meet a real live opera singer. A lot of the, my fellow black kids in my neighborhood would tease me and say, "Oh, that's for rich white folks. That's not for black people. Black people don't sing opera." And I think we really need to making opera more accessible.
My name is Radmila Lally. I was born in Moscow, Russia, and as a teenager I moved to London. I lived in London for a few years, then I moved to California, La Jolla, and Los Angeles, and then New York for about 12 years, and then 5 years ago I moved to Miami. Let's be real, and I don't like to play games and say, yes, it's a lot of opera lovers out there, but the kids nowadays, if we're trying to get 18, 20-year-olds in our hall, they not gonna spend 4 hours seeing a production, and if it's beautiful, they just don't have attention span. People, I don't want to name the shows, but some shows get sold out right away, and the tickets are like $700. And opera is much more affordable, but younger generation doesn't feel connected. They just don't. And I always say, if today Puccini would have lived, we don't know what kind of music he would have created. We don't. I think his music is amazing, but obviously he lived a long time ago, and that was for the generation at that time. And I think it's definitely a room for us to combine different artistic mediums. Marie and Tina asked me if I would be interested, and I was, just because of the conversation and the way we really had a synergy between three of us, it really opened my eyes that this can be, I would love to be part of it, and seeing this kind of getting, another level. For our gala, we're doing projection mapping. And I think it's going to be great for people to really witness and see the music, because I'm going to do duet with Maria Callas, and also the projection is going to be with my book and my music score that I created that I'm going to perform as a medley, so people will feel like they're inside of this music box and the book. They might say they love it, they might hate it, they might love it, and then they might just hate it. I don't know. I mean, to me, it's like I'm putting my everything in it, but end of the day, you're not going to create anything new if you're not going to go for it. So that's how I look at it.
Cool. I like it. I like it. All right.
I believe in the evolution of music. I think Latin urban music took the entire industry by surprise. When it came out, everybody thought it was going to be a fad. Everybody was like, "Oh, well, this Latin urban music, this is not real Latin. This is not real music." I heard that from the actual executives. None of them are working in the industry anymore. The community became so strong. These kids, when there were kids back then, they created a musical movement that there was no stopping it. And now it's the biggest streaming music in the world.
Imagine Sony, Universal, Warner, these are the three, that stay together and decide, okay, from tomorrow on, we really would like to give a big push to opera and to classical music. Even Luciano's career started even through recording, because he was heard by many people, not only by the people going to the theater, but even the people at home, even in the car. But if you take away that part, then it's not easy.
Mucho que viví, sí que lo agradecí. También me arrepiento de cosas que vi. Me pregunto quién viene después de mí.
Coming from my hip-hop world and culture, we think that we are so separate.
My lifelong dream has been to bridge
the world of classical music with popular music, because I feel like classical music has so much potential to be used as a tool for healing.
Look at what Lin-Manuel Miranda has done with Broadway and how he's able to talk about, the founding fathers, but do it in a way that speaks to people nowadays.
Even in hip hop, I would say that happened, people with closed mind and that wanted to have it so pure. I think in opera, for example, like we know the classics, but why not like to come up with a whole new play or compositions? The people that got to hear projects that I did, everybody want to hear more about it.
An MMA, mixed martial art opera. And we're very excited. This is the first time it's going to be presented in public, but it's also just a workshop. So it's really the embryo of the project presented for the first time in front of an audience and seeing what the audience say. This has been interesting.
Okay.
Yes, and you will be interested.
Okay.
And then we have a lot of drinks.
Okay.
Yes, you just send me the address and I'll meet you because I have to. There you go.
Watch your back, watch your back, watch your back.
What's going on here? It's exciting and and daunting at the same time. We are moving to a new location.
There's just not enough support.
The original bylaws, 1952.
Oh my God.
It's a little bit bittersweet.
We're going to go cloud-based. I will say by the end of September I should have everything in the cloud, no more servers.
This space is history.
Eso no. Eso para nosotros.
Solamente esto, ¿no?
Ça va dans notre nouveau. I'm super excited. I'm on adrenaline right now.
Garbage?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Hello. This is incredible. That wood, that smell of the. I know, right? This set has been built right now because we're presenting Mozart Magic Flute as the opening of our season. It is in its most traditional, elegant musical form. It will be in its integrality, but what we're doing is building this absolutely fantastic revolutionary set. If Mozart was alive today, he would have wanted that way.
Right.
There's no way Mozart would not want it that way. And this is exactly what we're doing. We're using technology, we're using the tool of today to tell the story of the past with the music of the past, where we're not reinventing the wheel and yet we're reinventing everything.
It's not about the technology, it's about using the technology to tell the
serve
story.
a story.
And to serve the music.
Even here, you're going to be standing between these.
You, my love. Mwah, mwah.
You doing good?
Are we ready for sound check? It's a little different, but it is what it is.
Sound engineer, brother.
And if you can adjust the speaking moment.
So what can we do better next year?
We can rest.
We're saving opera.
Thank you.
We are saving opera.
opera down here. I love Il Divo. What you guys do to bring it to the masses is just amazing. I am so glad you came. I hope you like what we're doing.
The definition of crazy is continuing to doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. We're gonna change the game and we're gonna make history, and in 100 years, people are gonna talk about what the Florida Grand Opera did 100 years ago. And that's gonna be our story.
Florida Grand Opera is dreaming on a grand scale, and our vision is bold and clear. Attract and engage new and younger audiences to those performances through the utilization of technology and immersive experiences. Enrich lives through music education, music therapy, community engagement, especially in minority and underserved groups, through expanded programming. The future of SGO and the responsibility we have to ensure the vitality and future of opera and the arts in our community rests with all of us here tonight.
And tell our story, let it echo far and wide, make them heal, make them heal. How justice was our battle, and how justice was denied, make them heal. Make them heal. And say to those who blame us for the way we chose to fight, that sometimes there are battles which are more than black or white. And I could not put down my sword when justice was my right. Make them heal. Make them heal. Go out and tell the story to your daughters and your sons. Make them heal. Make them heal. And tell them in our struggle we were not the only make them hear